Okay, we are recording. Josh, I'm going to have you introduce this.
Are you fucking kidding me? That wasn't fair. You should have given me a heads up, a warning.
Heads up.
What's the name of this show?
It's unknown.
The Once More for Safety show.
Like, it's been like 10 years since we've done one of these, so I can't even remember what the name of the show is anymore. I don't know if it's...
You're failing miserably. This is the opening, Josh, right now. You're doing it.
Oh, you should use all of this.
I am.
Because it's my favorite part. When people are like, they don't know what they're doing, I love that part. Hey, welcome to the Once More for Safety show. We haven't done this in a long time, so I'm just kind of going off the cuff. I'm Josh, and hanging out with me is, as always, is Matt.
That's me.
And today we have a pretty cool person hanging out with us as well. We're going to do an interview with Jennii Caroline. And that's where Jenny's like, hey, I'm here, that's me.
I love that she put you in that awkward situation. It feels great.
That's cool. I'll just be the voice for like everybody. I'll ask the questions and answer them and just do whatever. So
I like that. It makes it easy to do the show. It makes it really easy to do the show.
Just sit back and let me take care of this, Matt. You know I can handle it.
Well, I actually feel real good about you because I haven't actually talked to you since, I don't know, probably the last time I was on the set of Pigface, and you're getting over a sickness and you sound much, much better. So,
oh, dude, the last 2 weeks were like ridiculous, and I've been trapped in a room for like 2 weeks. So like yesterday was my first day out. So this is like fantastic. Being able to talk to two people. So
like your whole family just ignored you for the past 2 weeks.
My wife was like, look, you don't come near me or I'll kill you. So yeah.
Okay, very, very cool. Well, I am glad that you are better, and I'm glad that the sickness did not take you out, and that Pigface can resume filming the amazingness that it is. So we're looking forward to that. But of course, like you said at the top of the hour, we have a very special guest, Jennii Caroline, who is a local actress here in the Nebraska film scene, but I think you've done stuff other places as well. Sort of a very noteworthy individual. You've been around a long time making movies here in Nebraska. So we're going to talk to you about your whole career and just sort of what you've been up to and the things that you got going on and what films you have on deck and things of that nature. But if you watched our Benito Garcia episode, we do this little thing at the top every time we have a guest where we hit them with 12 questions. 12 questions that are just random. We don't tell the guest what they're about. We don't tell them anything like that. We're just going to throw them at you, and you have like 3 seconds to answer. So this is rapid fire. So don't be like Benito, where you sit there for like 20 seconds trying to come up with an answer. You're better than him, Jennii. I know it.
I can't call a lifeline or like phone out.
No. This is all you. So, Josh, I mean, you have a question. Why don't you start a question to her, and then we'll just ping back and forth.
Yeah, cool. Rapid fire. Here we go. Jennii.
All right.
Shittiest candy on the planet.
Shittiest candy on the planet. I'm gonna go with those lemon drop candies. Like they hurt your teeth, and the flavor is just kind of like a cleaning product.
Okay. Question: what is the best failure song?
Oh, the best failure song.
3,
oh,
2,
shoot.
1.
Chorus.
Okay.
That was really hard.
Jennii, you are hopping on a plane tomorrow. Where are you going?
I'm going to Puerto Rico.
Jennii, who is the better director, Josh or myself?
Oh, it's a tie. It's a tie.
You can be honest, Jennii. You can be honest. He asked this to Benito, and Benito didn't hesitate. He was like, it's Matt. Let's move on. It's fine.
I'm going to go with Josh because he never gives me any weird nicknames for wearing sunglasses.
Oh, fair.
That's like. Never mind. I'll let it go. Jennii, you can see any band, dead or alive. Who are you seeing?
These are really hard. Oh my god. I'm gonna go with Deftones. I love Deftones.
Good pick. The world's about to be hit by a rogue planet in an hour. You have 1 hour to live. What is the last thing that you want to do?
I am just gonna hug my dogs.
Okay.
I'm my mom and dad at the same time.
All right, Jennii, you've done a ton of horror films. What is your favorite on-screen death?
My favorite on-screen death. It's my favorite and my least favorite because it was painful. But I'm gonna go with I think it's called Silent Night, Bloody Night 2. There's so many words in that intro, but it was so cold. And I used to say I love the cold, but now I'm not so sure. But it turned out awesome, but it was fucking cold.
Your death row last meal, go.
Oh, that's really difficult. I'm going to go with mofongo with crab. It's a Puerto Rican dish.
Fuck, how many questions have I asked? Jennii, say a curse word. Say a curse word.
Shit.
Okay. What is the weirdest place you've ever been?
The weirdest place I've ever been? Legally, I don't know if I can answer that. No, I'm just joking. God, the weirdest place I've ever been? I don't know. I guess some of the abandoned houses that I've done some light trespassing in have been pretty weird. Yeah.
Okay. Light trespassing.
Light trespassing.
All right, Jennii, this is my last question. If someone wrote a book about your life, what would the title be?
It would just be "What the fuck is going on?" And then a weird, blurry photo of me surrounded by dogs or something.
Fair. And my last question is, what is the first movie you remember seeing as a kid? The very first one you remember.
I'm going to have to say Home Alone.
That's a great answer. I've been watching that movie. I watched that movie like a handful of times when I was in...
Your sickness?
Is that your delirium? You're just watching Home Alone on repeat over and over and over?
No, that was there was a list of there's 4 or 5 movies I just kept repeating because I just slept. So I would just I didn't want to put on a movie that I wanted to watch. So I just put on a movie I knew I could fall asleep to. Home Alone was one of them.
And it's a feel-good movie. If you're not feeling well, you kind of feel better watching that movie.
Josh, what's the best thing to eat when you're sick? What do you want your wife to make you?
I couldn't taste or smell anything. So nothing.
Okay. So you can literally eat the healthiest things imaginable because you can't taste it anyway.
I lost 8 pounds in the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
Which is good for me because I'm a fat cow. So it's really been nice not being able to taste or smell because I'm not really eating a lot. So.
Okay.
He just looked up broccoli a little.
Was that my rapid fire question? Was that mine?
Oh, I got more for you later after the call, so don't worry about
it.
Okay, well, let's get into the meat of this show, ladies and gentlemen. We have this lovely actress on our show to talk about micro-budget filmmaking and whatnot. So, Jennii, I'm going to just throw an easy softball question out to you very first. So, when did you first get into acting? Tell us a little bit about how that all came about. Why did you want to get into this crazy thing called micro-budget film acting?
Well, originally I was actually just doing music. I'm a classically trained opera singer, and I did musical theater. And as I got older, it's just not very cool. I mean, it's cool, but it's harder to find people who want to do musicals. When you're 5'10", they're like, yeah, we want children in these, or younger, high school age. So I just started kind of branching out more. And I first actually was doing music videos and being an extra in anything I could find when I lived in California. So that's kind of where the shift occurred.
Okay, I had no idea you were a classically trained opera singer. When's the last time you've done some sort of opera singing?
I do it every day if I shower, but
okay.
It's been a really long time. I couldn't even put a date on that. It's been a long time.
Oh, interesting. See, this feels like, Josh, it feels like at some point in time we got to get her to do some opera singing on set.
You got it.
Yeah, I feel like I can write some opera stuff into a new short film and then just make Jennii sing on camera.
You'll have to figure out how to write it in either French, Italian, or German, though. Those are my preferred ones.
Okay. Done. I can learn all those languages tomorrow.
Can you speak all those languages?
No, but I can sing in them and make you think I can.
Oh, well, that's good. Very good. Very
Like
good.
acting. No, I'm just joking. No.
So was acting like your first love, or did you get into sort of film another way? Like a lot of people say, well, I started writing for movies. I know you mentioned like you were in music and stuff like that, but in terms of like film, was acting the thing you really wanted to do, or was that like a gateway to from other things that you were doing?
It was definitely a gateway. I've always been more interested in music, going to shows. I like a lot of different types of music. And then, music videos was kind of the first thing I got to be on a film set for. And it was really fun. And I remember thinking, oh my God, if we filmed for like 12 hours, I'm going to be in this music video so much. It's going to be amazing. And I'm literally in like 4 seconds of it. I was like, oh, sweet, it looks great, but that's, kind of how it goes sometimes. But it was still a really fun experience. And I kind of liked just meeting everybody and, cast and crew and just all the creativity and different minds involved. I enjoyed that experience. So I kind of started looking for more of that when I moved back to the Midwest.
Okay, I'm going to toss it over to Josh because I have a habit of just talking all the time, as you both know. So I'm going to toss it to Josh to ask some questions here.
I have a habit of sitting here and just letting Matt talk. And being like, this is awesome. What was the first film that you worked on?
I think it was when I was a paramedic in the movie Blood Rights, filmed in Lincoln.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's Dorothy's film, right?
It
Yeah.
is Dorothy's film.
Okay, didn't Eric Moyer? I think I was doing a Pigface documentary, one of the many videos I've done, and I think Eric Moyer said his first film in Nebraska was also Blood Rights.
Really?
That's what he said.
He's
I mean, I don't know if that's true, but that's what he said.
Yeah.
I just feel like Blood Rights. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent. I just feel like Blood Rights wasn't that old, and so I felt like you guys did a ton of shit before they ever did Blood Rights. But I guess
Well, I'm gonna IMDb Blood Rights. So talk amongst yourselves.
Jennii, Blood Rights. Tell us about the experience being on that set, and what do you kind of remember about liking it or disliking that experience of that first film?
Gosh, it was like so freaking long ago. I just had like acquaintances and friends that were getting into local film. And I literally was like thinking back because I really couldn't remember what was my first thing. I was thinking it was either that or something from the Silly Scaries movies. But I just remember it was fun. I got to like be in a real paramedic ambulance, and the other two people that were playing paramedics were real paramedics. So I was the only one like just faking it, I guess. But I have a ton of pictures from that day, and one of them is really wild because the guy's got a gouged out bloody eye, and I have just a really funny photo taken with that guy, the dead guy. I don't know what his name is.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun.
He's struggling. See this?
No,
He's struggling. He's trying to figure it out.
No. I have these questions up, and I hit a fucking button, and all the questions went away. So my filler is So if you hear me doing that, it's because I fucked up and I hit the wrong button.
I'll have to go back and like edit all that out, so it flows a little better.
Edit nothing. So that's my filler. So you had a good experience on Blood Rights. What made you want to go back out and do another film?
It was just getting to like do all these fun experiences with people I knew and kind of like make more friends. I think the next thing after that, I was like playing like a zombie with my friend Samantha. I think she was like a vampire or something. Like we just were like having a blast and getting to do all this fun special effects makeup and just meeting more and more people interested in local film. And it was just really fun. So I wanted to keep doing it. And anytime I was offered, hey, do you want to come down and try out or come check this out? I'd always go just to meet more people. And just, it was really fun.
So I'm looking at your IMDb, Jennii, and it says here that your first film was Seven Down by Tyler Schmidt in 2011.
Oh.
Do you have any recollection of that film?
Yeah.
Was that not a memorable experience for you? Have you forgotten it, blocked it out of your mind?
I have a copy of it. I think I'm actually just a person at the end of the movie to make it like a setup for maybe a part two. I could be wrong, but I think in that movie, I think all I do is have a quick scene where I'm on a phone in my house.
Okay.
It's filmed in my basement, just that scene. But the rest of it, I don't think I had anything to do with. I could be wrong. Now I'm going to have to go watch that. It's been a really long time. So maybe it was that. I don't know.
I actually have that DVD in my bedroom right now because I keep
Why
planning to watch
it real quick and tell me. What do I
Yeah.
do?
How long is that film?
Curly, super short, curly hair, and I'm like holding a phone, and I think that's all I did in that movie. And I have a T-shirt for it still too. Yeah.
Interesting.
I have no idea how I got in that.
So we don't actually know. So even you yourself don't really know what the first thing that you've been in the local film scene may or may not have been. But you've been in so many different things. That's the thing. Because I remember back when I was making movies and sort of planning, feature films back in that time, that 2010, 2011, 2012. I mean, it seemed like everybody knew you. You were one of those actors where it's like you're in just about everything in the film scene. So back then, let me just throw a completely different curveball towards you, because I am of the opinion that back then, here in the Nebraska film scene in particular, things were a lot different. Like, it just had a different feel to it. It seemed like there were a lot more filmmakers that were actually making stuff back in that day as compared to now. Do you feel that sort of as an actress? You've been doing this for over a decade now here in Nebraska in the micro budget film scene. Do you feel it's different now than it was back in the day? And if so, how?
I don't really understand how it's different, but I know it does feel different. I feel like there's almost a separation between Lincoln and Omaha, and I don't know why. It's like kind of hard to have like contact from them, be like, "Hi, I'd love to try out," or "I'd love to help out," and then you just don't hear anything, or you'll have friends being like, "Yeah, I'm doing this big casting thing," and it's like, "Oh, didn't know. Would have like loved to go." And I have tons of friends here that I've done film with that are always like, "Yeah, I never hear of anything going on. Everybody is working in Omaha." And me and like some of my other friends, like Skylar Craig, like we live in Omaha. We don't live in Omaha. We live in Lincoln, and I feel like we're like in a bubble here sometimes. And so sometimes I'll ask people, I'm like, "Is there anything going on in Lincoln?" Like,
it slowed down here.
So it used to be crazy. It was like everybody was filming in Lincoln, and I think it's all kind of moved. I'm still interested in doing stuff, and I know a ton of people are, but I feel like it definitely slowed down. I think maybe people are filming elsewhere or using more people from Omaha, or they're just larger projects that maybe take more time. I don't really know.
I'm wondering if it has something to do with the fact that, it was a specific point in time when there's all these different filmmakers, especially making horror movies. That was the thing. Like back then, it seemed like everybody was making horror movies. And it just seems like a lot of those filmmakers just sort of either moved or kind of gave up. And it didn't seem like there was anybody to fill the vacuum. Like there wasn't a bunch of like new blood, young, fresh filmmakers that were trying to come up. And there was like a big gap from like 2014 to 2019-ish, like before COVID. Just feels like there was a lot of, there's still people making movies, but it didn't feel like they were making horror movies. It felt like they were making web dramas and that kind of stuff. I don't know, Josh, what do you think? Do you get that sort of vibe?
Yeah, I feel like we've already said, like the Lincoln scene definitely slowed down. But it also feels like it's all new blood in Omaha. Like a ton of really young filmmakers are coming up in Omaha. And don't get me wrong, because Omaha kids are making some really good stuff. I don't know where the Lincoln people have gone. I used to be able to name a ton of people that were making films on the horror kind of level in Lincoln, and I don't know where any of them are anymore. But you hear about Omaha all the time.
Yeah, I think people think they need to have all this money to do it, and I always feel like people are hesitant. They're like, "We'll try to get you this outfit or these clothes for this," and like, I have like 3 closets of clothes that I could ruin for movies or use for movies. So I feel like people think they need this big budget. And maybe in some movies that's true. Maybe they need it for people to pay for like editing or special effects or something. But I still feel like we didn't have those budgets. And a lot of people I worked with, we were just cranking stuff out left and right. And it wasn't about having a
That's
budget.
that's definitely become a thing here too. Is everybody? And again, don't get me wrong, because it's a lot of work and people deserve to get paid.
Mhm.
So that let me start with that. But everybody wants to get paid now. So like
Mhm.
you can't just be like, hey, I want to make a movie. Who wants to come out and make a movie with me? Everybody's like, yeah, I'll quote you how much it'll cost you for me to come out and shoot this movie, or I'll quote
Mhm.
you how much it'll cost to edit or find someone to run
Yeah.
sound, or like now you have to do an Indiegogo campaign basically to make your movie because nobody just wants to do it because it's kind of fun and kind of cool to hang out with
Mhm.
people.
Well, I wouldn't say
Um,
nobody.
I don't. Okay,
I am
not
going to
nobody.
ask you for.
You're
I
right,
am going to
Jenny.
ask you for money later, though, Josh. I'm just,
That's fine. I'll write you a bad check.
I'm
You
just
didn't hear that, man. I'll write you
no,
a bad
I
check
know
though.
I
It'll
know
be fine.
plenty of people who just want to be involved, and I have people ask me all the time, and I have to laugh. They're like, "Oh, you're filming tonight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's going to be like 98 degrees. There's be bugs everywhere." They're like, "Oh, can I come with?" And I'm like, "No, why would you want to come with?" And they're just like they're so excited and they want to go. Maybe I should let these people come with so that they get the experience that there's a lot
Yeah.
of
Then
just
you
sitting
will be.
there
Then you
getting
will be Hollywood. You'll
myself.
have your own entourage. Oh,
Yeah,
here comes Hollywood with her
yeah.
entourage.
Yeah, I can't have that. I can't have
You
Matt
just
talking shit on me. So I don't bring anyone. I just lie and say I don't have any friends. When he asks me, I'm like, I don't know anyone. No.
just just bring them out one time, Jenny. They'll quit. Like they'll never come back.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Wait, this is what you're doing?" Oh my
Yeah, I mean, fuck
Yeah,
this.
some people would, but some people would be like, this is so freaking cool. And there are those people that they really want to do that. They want that experience. So maybe that should be your way to fund your movies. You can let people pay to stand around and be
That's a good idea.
feel cool.
Like sell tickets to the filming of the
Yeah,
movie.
'cause I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty exciting as long as you're not the one getting like your eyes gouged out. It's pretty fun to watch. I think it could be pretty entertaining for someone who just gets to be a passerby.
That's a that's actually a really interesting idea.
Yeah, let's do
Pay
it.
to let people come on set. Now, I want to ask you kind of jettisoning off what our pre-written questions are. I
Mhm,
find this topic sort of really interesting, and I want to dive a little bit deeper into it. You mentioned that there's a divide between Omaha and Lincoln. I have
mhm,
always felt that way. I've always felt
mhm.
that Omaha, they have a kind of like a more, shall we say, elitist view of how film should be. In particular, I remember getting a bunch of pushback from people up in Omaha.
Honestly, I don't know people in Omaha besides one or two people, and I do talk to them and am planning some fun stuff with like one or two people. But I know there's so many other people, and I've just never met them. I just haven't had that experience, so I don't know if there's more elite people. Who knows? I don't know, but I just feel like it's hard to get recognized as a person available to go to Omaha to do something, and I don't know why that is. I guess
Yeah.
it's just harder to get out there. But
Well,
yeah.
as an actress who's been working in the micro budget film scene here for many, many years, what are your feelings on sort of the idea of getting paid for this kind of stuff? Like have you worked on projects in the past here locally where like they have paid you? Do you just say, "Hey, I'm just here for fun and friends and I'm okay?" Cuz with actors it's tough, right? Especially gas
Mhm,
prices now, right? Actors having to drive to locations, spend their own gas money, going back
mhm,
and forth. Time is valuable. Time is worth something. um,
mhm,
a lot of people are just like, I would really like to at least have something. And others are like,
mhm,
I don't really care. I'm just here for the fun. How do you
mhm,
view and how do you make a determination on what projects you're going to be in? Do you ever base it on whether
mhm.
you're going to be paid or not, or just the quality of the project or the people? How do you make that call?
Well, it's definitely changed over time because I used to be a full time actor. I literally was like a bartender and a student, and I had all this extra time to do acting. And I did get paid back then for a lot of different projects, and everything kind of varied on how much time you could commit to and the time frame of how long the project was going to take. So that it was different back then because I was doing this full time. So I was getting more money for it. Now I just still love doing it more for fun and as a hobby. I mean, I already work full time and um, finished school like 3 times now. I have 3 degrees. So I'm more doing film and trying to do more writing and stuff as well. But I'm still more just doing it because it's enjoyable. It's fun. It's one of my favorite things to do when I'm not stuck on my computer working. And I always look forward to having those new experiences, meeting more actors and crew and directors, regardless of whether they pay me or not. It's just something I enjoy.
What type of characters do you usually get cast as?
I've played a lot of ditzy characters. I can't figure out why. No, I'm just joking. But like funny, like the girl that's so annoying you want her to die in the end type of stuff. I think it's just because it's kind of fun to play that up and kind of ham it up and be really annoying, because I feel like I'm kind of more quiet and weird in life than ditzy. And then a lot of times I feel like I'm playing just spooky characters. Some of the films I did in the past, I just was kind of scary. Like I had like almost a double life in some of these movies that were kind of dark, and I just got to be like this completely different person. So it was kind of fun.
Do you have a role that, as an actor, you're like, man, I really want to play this type of role, but I've never had the opportunity. There's never been a script or a film locally here that I've really, had an opportunity to do this, but there's something that's on my bucket list of, man, I would love to play this type of character.
Yeah, I kind of have two. My main passion of film is sci-fi, and sci-fi, like kind of, I guess, sci-fi horror, like Aliens, Predator. I have always wanted to be in a sci-fi themed, super scary movie and be like that badass, be like Sigourney Weaver. I think that is so freaking cool. I don't know if I'll ever get that experience, but it's something I can dream about. And then the other one I've always wanted to do more comedy. I've had some experience doing comedy, and it was just so fun. I wish I could find more people doing stuff like that too. So yeah, those would be roles. But yeah, the sci-fi one is number one on the bucket list for sure.
You got that, Josh? Start writing.
Yeah.
God damn it. I have a quick, not on the list question, Jennii. Is there ever been a script that you've gotten that you've been like, I'm not doing that? Have you ever said no to a script?
Oh, I didn't say no. You actually sent me one time, and I ended up being sick for like a year.
Not me. Not me, Jennii.
And
no, go ahead.
It was
sorry.
during the pandemic, and there was like a kissing scene, and I was like losing my mind. Like I was like, I was literally having at-home panic attacks daily just because of COVID. And then you'd sent me something, and I was just like, I literally was just kind of living in pure terror because the beginning of the pandemic was so freaking weird, as we all.
I'm trying to think of what I would have sent you.
It was the first Pigface. It was the first Pigface movie.
Oh, yeah. Really?
But I don't know. I don't know if you kept those scenes in, all the ones that made me like scared. I'm like, I'm going to get COVID and die.
No, we didn't do any kissing during.
Because I remember you're like, if you don't want to do it, let me know. And I honestly had a migraine for like 8 months straight and was in and out of going to all these doctors. And I was like, I can't even focus on just being alive, let alone do a movie. I was having migraines all the
time. The first Pigface script gave you a migraine?
No.
For 8 months.
For 8 months?
No. Like literally that was what was going on. Like at the beginning of the pandemic, everyone was like worried about me because I wasn't leaving my house at all. And they were like, you can wear a mask and leave your house. And I'm like, I know, but I've had a migraine so long, and it wasn't because of that. I have something wrong with like my occipital nerve, or I don't know, something wrong in my neck that was causing me migraines and vomiting daily. So imagine that with the pandemic, you just kind of feel like you're dead for almost a year. So yeah, so that was
Jennii, if it makes you feel better, if it makes you feel better, I told him to cut that hardcore XXX scene out of the script before he sent it out to the actors, and apparently he didn't. So I'm sorry, Josh. I told you to do that.
That's right. It was the one time I got permission to shoot it. I couldn't not do it.
Yeah, I don't think that scene was. It was literally just someone kissing someone in a tent, and I was like, fuck, no. I don't know.
No, we cut that for sure.
My anxiety's a lot better now.
Yeah.
So Jennii, what would you say the favorite role that you've ever done? You've done many, many films. What's the best role? The role you're like, wow, like this is the one that I'm most proud of, or I like the most.
I really enjoyed the movie Die Sister Die. It was a remake of a movie, I think from the 70s. I played a woman named Esther in it, and the role was really challenging and really cool. And I felt like, I was seemingly a good person and like a nurse kind of in the movie. I was like a caretaker, but on the side, I was like this nasty person trying to get this lady killed off and like money motivated. And I think there was like drug use, like implied drug use. Like I know there was these really weird scenes in the movie. And so this person is just chaotic. But watching the movie, like, I really love watching the movie because I just feel like it was so different for me character-wise than other parts that I've played. And it just turned out really cool. And I got to work with Brink Stevens, so I was like, this is so cool. So yeah, I would say definitely Die Sister Die.
Cool. Now you've been on lots of local film sets around here. Everybody's different, right? So every director has a different feel that their sets are, and what you. But walk the people through like a typical day on a micro budget film set. Just sort of like you as an actor. What are some of the highlights and lowlights of working on a local film set?
Well, I'll go with the more recent. The more recent.
Yes.
So we're filming Pig
Let's
Face
talk
2.
Pig Face.
And the best parts, we'll go with the positives first. I've got to meet so many people that I've never worked with, or people that I've literally just been friends with on Facebook but never met, and that's so cool. And everyone gets along so well. There's so many cool people and different personalities, and like everyone really meshes well. And that doesn't always happen when you have so many people involved. But everyone's so fun. So there's that. And then getting to know people, like, when we get there early, we go through the script, we kind of talk about our day. I get to kind of like learn what these people's lives are like and what they're like. And that's been really cool. And then one of the downer parts, I guess, is like, location. Like we have this super cool location, but it's the time of the year where it's unpredictable. There's either going to be crazy thunderstorms and lightning and it's going to be humid and muddy, or it's going to be sunny all day and it's going to be hot as hell. And you're just going to be sweating and getting mascara in your eye. Well, not you guys, but maybe. No, but I am. I'm like sweating and getting mascara in my eye, and I'm like trying to remember my lines, and my eye's burning, and I'm getting like attacked by bugs. So there's that. But at the same time, when all this funny stuff's happening, you're experiencing it as a group. So it's not just happening to you. You're all getting attacked by bugs and sweating and getting sunburned. But I mean, that's the kind of whole collective group experience of being in an indie like budget film. Like we're not going to have these like fancy trailers we can go in and have someone redo our makeup and like some cold mist machine, or I don't know what the hell is going on in big budget movies, but you work with what you have, and it's a fun experience, and it's shared amongst the group. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm still pretty pissed off at Josh for all the ticks that are
I don't
out there
think
on location.
Yeah, I'm so glad that my trailer showed up, so I have somewhere to go hang out.
He's a secret
Like, you
trailer
guys
in
are
the woods.
suffering.
Oh, weird.
We all hang out in the tick shack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The tick couch.
yeah. I will forever be known, I guess, now as just that person that made that fucking tick movie, and everybody nearly died.
Well, Josh, let me throw a question to you real quick. So,
Sweet, cool.
tell me what it's like working with Jennii Caroline. I'm going to put you on the spot right here. Like, is
I'm
she
ready.
difficult? Is she difficult? Is she great? Like explain how. I mean, you've known her for a number of years. You've worked with her on her projects. What's it like working with Jennii?
She got out Kleenex. That's so funny. Like, I'm gonna make her fucking cry. So I worked with Jennii for the first time on a stupid ass short film called the Bear Stench Project. And
Bear Wench.
Yeah, that was the original title, the Bear Stench Project. And Here's the cool thing about Jennii is Jennii brings ideas, and Jennii brings like just the cool thing about working with people is I tell people bring like dialogue, bring ideas to throw out because I like when people try things, and not everybody is brave enough to do that. Some people are just like I'm going to stick to what's on the page and I'm just gonna say that. And Jenny's never been like, oh, like I'm afraid to bring an idea or try something or throw an idea out, especially when she like sees really shitty dialogue on a page and is like, I'm not gonna fucking say that. I have a better idea. So that's what's really great about Jenny. And she's got a good attitude and she's fun and she gets along with everybody that I've worked with. Granted, again, the only other person that I worked with was Tammy on a project with Jennii, and Jennii actually brought Tammy into that project. So she knew her, but she's gotten along with everybody as far as the sets that I've been on with her. She's just brings a good attitude. So, and that's one of that's the hardest thing sometimes about doing these micro budget films is you don't always get people that come in with a good attitude. Sometimes you get people that just come in and just are kind of shitty and have shit attitudes, and then you're already in a shitty situation. Like if we had an actress on this film that had a shitty attitude, this would suck even worse than it already kind of does. Because I mean, we're dealing with shitty weather and ticks and 3 a.m. and all that shit. There's a lot of negatives. I'll be the first one to tell you. I'll be the second one to tell you that because Jennii already told you that. But if you throw a shitty, bad attitude actor in there with it, it's gonna make it way worse.
Yeah,
So
and I'm going to piggyback because this is now like the 5 minute deviation where we just tell Jennii how great she is. I've worked with Jennii, I think, twice on Road Trip and The Apartment. And Road Trip, you actually played Circe, the ancient goddess from the Odyssey, and I'll share an example actually from The Apartment. So you had a very small part in The Apartment. Just show up at the very end. You do some stuff and you sit on a couch, and that film shoot was it was a little tough. The film shoot was for various reasons, but when you got there, and I don't even know if you know this, but you showed up and you had such a spunky, great personality. You were like so happy to be there. It brought everybody back up. And I remember we filmed you where you were supposed to do like this weird head flip and this like, oh really, with the couch, and you go sit down on it. And we did yeah, it comes with a couch. And I remember we did the first take of that. And he went over, and I looked over at DJ, and DJ just had this huge smile on his face because he's like, it's a breath of fresh air when you have someone that's just sort of committed. They know their lines. You're very professional when you're on set. It's like you don't just show up and be like, feed me my lines. I don't know what my lines are. It's like you show up knowing what you're supposed to do. You're willing to sort of throw in your own ideas and stuff. And so much of micro budget filmmaking, Josh is correct. It's attitude, right? If people start having a really negative attitude on set, it like infects everybody. It's like a disease. It starts spreading. And I've at least never been on a film set where you've been that way. So that's what I would say about you. I think you had a great idea. Just wait for it. Wait for it.
Next time.
You hear that, Omaha? You don't want to hire her. Okay, let me go here. So I think you kind of mentioned Die Sister Die. Is that the film that like you feel is the best film that you've ever been in? Like, what is the one thing if someone would be like, okay, Jennii, I'm thinking about casting you, point me in the direction of a film that would give me a great representation of your range and your acting ability and stuff. Like, what film of yours would you point them to?
If it's just a point towards my acting ability, yeah, I guess I would go with Die Sister Die or this other movie called Gloved Murderess. Just because the characters were so unlike my own life and unlike my own personality. I remember I really had to get into a mode. I had to shut my phone off. I couldn't listen to music. I had to really get into character, and it took time. And I really had to focus and have intent on delivery and the way I wanted to be in that role. And especially for certain scenes, I really had to turn it around, be more negative, be more intense. And then other scenes where I'm in the movie acting different because I'm trying to be convincing that I'm not a bad person and that I'm not, here to kill people and take their money, so the role reversal, even within the same part within like those movies and in Glove Murderous, I felt like that was a good representation of just different things I was capable of. And then the other one is more of a comedy role, and I had to really go outside my comfort zone. And it's for the movie Unemployed, a Jeremy Luash film. I really wanted to do comedy, so I was like, I'll do anything. I am not wearing a lot of clothes, which was hard for me because I'm like, my body confidence is not so great. But I just said, you know what? The scene is so funny and this part is so funny. And it's a small part, so it's not like I'm going to be like half naked in the film forever. But I play this stripper who has like a long lost brother, and it's just really funny. I look at the pictures from that though, and I'm like, I can't believe I wore that. It's literally like a mesh see-through dress with a bra and a thong and like heels.
Well, this brings up an interesting question, because especially on like the micro budget film scene, like how do you negotiate when you're looking at roles or scripts, whether there's a casting call and stuff.
Mhm.
How do you determine, it's like, okay, I want this role, but there might be either content in it that I'm not comfortable with, or maybe in that case, maybe clothing or attire or lack thereof that you're not comfortable with. How do you sort of negotiate that? Do you discuss it with the director? Is it more just a specific thing, like, no, I'm not going to cross this line no matter what it is? Or does it depend on the
Mhm.
role as an actor? How do you make
Mhm.
a determination as to what roles you take?
Well, I really don't want to do like full on nudity. It's not really my thing. And I feel like the movies that I do don't really need it. But in the case where there's like, scantily clad or however you want to call it, it's more about who you're working with. If they make you feel comfortable on set, if you get to maybe do a run through before you're in your weird outfit, are you comfortable with the people you're acting with? Are you getting feedback from the director? Are they listening to your concerns and saying, if you feel uncomfortable, let's stop. If something's weird, let's reposition, let's change something. Like if you have people that are good communicators, you can film anything. And if you don't want to do it a certain way, you just need to speak up and always be able to speak how you feel, and make sure they understand what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do, and don't ever do things you don't want to do. There's always a workaround. So yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of like how I felt about Pigface too, and yet I still ended up doing it. It was really bothersome to me. Josh?
Well, we told you could wear clothes. You
What?
just showed up naked.
Josh told me I can't wear any clothes.
Yeah, but we negotiated, and I let him put on
You were
pants.
very kind.
So
You were very
I
kind
didn't
about
want
it.
him
I
to get
know.
sunburned, honestly.
I tried. I tried.
In the
Now
picture,
you
he
are
was
shooting.
naked, alive. No.
Yeah. So you're currently shooting Pigface 2. Last I knew, you were wrapped, but I don't know if you have pickup shots still left to do, or whatever Josh may have you come back to do. But
We,
tell us some interesting stories about your time on Pigface 2. Like what is the best story that comes to mind of your experience making Pigface 2, and what is like the worst experience that comes to mind? And be totally honest right in
Um,
front of Josh.
well,
yeah, you can't hurt my feelings, Jenny. I hang out with Matt,
yeah.
so
I'm going to insult him for like an hour after this is over, just straight. He's just going to sit there and take it.
Let's just don't take it to the physical level, guys. No hitting. Um, um, Gosh, I don't know. I really like. You mean negative experiences, like as far as like how things have gone wrong, or great experiences? I'm sorry. Reword that. I got
Both.
lost.
Both,
Got
both.
lost.
like
in
like
deciding.
negative experiences, like I had to work with Josh, like
Oh.
shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never really had a negative experience. I did have a migraine out of nowhere really bad after looking at like one of the lights um, in the movie, and then after that, I was like, I couldn't see very well, and I've been having inner ear issues, so I couldn't hear, I couldn't see very well, and I could feel a migraine starting, and I was like, kind of nervous, but I literally like blanked out. I couldn't think of my lines. I couldn't even remember what like scene we were on. So I was like internally like kind of freaking out for a minute. It only lasted a little bit though, but it was because I stared at this light. Like we were watching the bugs move around the light for our fire pit. And like, I don't know, like all of a sudden I was getting tracers and I was like, oh shit, I've looked at that light too long. And then I was like, oh God. And you can't just be like, hold on, I got to go throw up in the woods and take a bunch of Tylenol. Like, so I didn't do that. Instead, I just was like, hold on, and I was like, can someone give me the line and let me know what's going on? I literally like blacked out. I was like, I don't know what scene we're doing. In my head, we're just sitting here to fake campfire. But we made it through. We got the scene done. But yeah, I mean, it's been all good experiences. I mean, we've all been
the day we shot Jenny's death, she sent me a message that just said, "Hey, just so you know, I'm having an inner ear issue and I can't hear. So if you're calling action tonight and I don't move, it's because I can't hear you."
Yeah.
So she sent me messages or like YouTube videos on how to learn how to say action in sign language. So
Yeah.
I sat out there night like trying to like do this weird action on how to do like say action in sign language, and then finally people were like, "She can hear you. Just say it."
Yeah, I can kind of hear.
So
Like I'm still having the same issue. My eustachian tube's closed, so everything's echoing off in my ears. So I'm hearing things really weird. So sometimes when I do my lines, I'd ask like one of the girls next to me. I'd be like, "Am I talking at a normal volume or am I yelling?" And they're like, "No, you sound great. You're doing great." And I'm like, "Okay." Like, just it's a weird thing.
What's the, getting, I mean, obviously you're doing tons of different acting and stuff like that, but you have like your paranormal stuff. It's like TikTok, ghost sort of stuff. Like tell us a little bit about what you're doing with that aspect of your
Yeah.
career.
Well, I've always really been interested in like paranormal and historical and places all over, not just Nebraska. I actually run a channel called Uncharted and Beyond. It's a TikTok channel. It also has a YouTube channel, but I am horrible at editing. I have probably 60 hours of video to edit to somehow make some episodes for it, and I just haven't figured it out yet. But some of my TikToks, just I don't know, like I put them up, and like overnight I had like 160,000 views, and I was like, oh my god, people like this stuff. They like the things I like, and so I've just been doing that a lot. I recently went to New Orleans and filmed, did some paranormal investigations of some super freaky places there. And I'm trying to do more in Nebraska just so I can include other local people here, just people interested in the paranormal, and then also some people that I've met online that are just other TikTok channels that want to collab. But yeah, that's just another random thing I've been interested in and been doing the past year or so.
I think what's incredible is like with one TikTok, you've gotten more viewers than Josh and I have in our entire film careers. So
combined.
combined, yes.
All right, you want to be on my TikToks? You can.
Yes, we should, Josh. We should guest on one of these TikToks, and
Yeah, I would love.
Oh yeah, I'd love to get TikTok.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
love
for
to
sure.
take you guys somewhere and just scare the fuck out of you and videotape it. If you're down, I'm down.
hey, okay. So here's a quick story. So Josh and I went to the Villisca Axe Murder House out in
Yeah,
Iowa a few years back, and we
yeah,
spent
you
the
can
night.
take me. The fuck.
And well, I didn't know you would be interested. Otherwise, we would have had you come.
Yeah.
Josh, I feel like Josh was actually kind of worried and terrified while we were there. Josh,
Yeah.
what are your recollections of being in the Villisca Axe Murder House?
Oh, this is where I learned that I snore and I'm a little bitch.
Did the
So
ghost tell you
those are
that?
the two things I learned. What's
Did the
that?
ghost tell you
What's
that, or
that?
did Matt?
Here's the thing. I wasn't super bothered by the house. There was one thing that we did where there was like a barn
Mhm.
that had this old TV in there and a bunch of
Yeah,
videotapes. And
I've seen
for
videos.
some reason, those kind of bothered me a little
Looked like
bit.
something out of The Ring because the videotapes weren't like
Um,
labeled or anything. A lot of them
Yeah,
were just
all
blank,
of
and you
them.
stick them in there.
and then they wanted to do this thing where there was like a cellar there, and they were like, let's everybody do like 10 minutes or something like that
Mhm.
by yourself in this cellar. And I was with a handful of people that I didn't even really know, Matt included. I barely knew those, and I didn't really know the other people that well. And I was like, these people are going to put me in the cellar and fucking lock me in at night. I know they're going to do that. So I wasn't super down with getting in that cellar by myself.
See, I'll go in.
That wasn't a fear thing. That was a trust thing.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still feel like if I went back there with Matt, he'd lock me in that fucking
Probably.
cellar.
Yes. It's a good fear to have. Good, healthy fear of me. But no, maybe we should do that again, guys. I think it might be fun to go out to the Villisca Axe Murder House and give it another go. Perhaps that is something that we'll do for the Outpost Unknown YouTube channel and for Jenny's TikTok. And we can sort of go out there. Because what is kind of interesting about it is the person who sort of, when you first get there, she sort of tells you about what happened in all the rooms of the house, because the house is a lot smaller than you would expect it to be. It's, I guess in my mind, I thought it was much bigger, but it's a very kind of small house. And like in this room, the kids got axed to death, and right upstairs is where the parents were sleeping and they got axed to death. And this person got killed in the closet. So, and they sort of set it up. The lady that was telling us all about it was like, oh yeah, I was in here once and something flew across the kitchen. So I know that the spirits are here and stuff like that. We didn't ultimately find anything. We had Lisa Cavanda actually. What's that?
Did you have like a REM pod or a spirit box?
We did, because Lisa Cavanda actually had lent us some various ghost hunter gear. So like we had
to lend out.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called with like the matrix display. Like you stick it on the wall, and it's like all the green dots, and then you can sort of see if a ghost moves in front, like of the dots or whatever. We had that. We did that down in the cellar, and we had like an EMF reader and stuff like that. And I distinctly remember the EMF reader because we had like a big bag of candy. And we stuck the EMF reader over there, and it would always go off by the bag of candy. Do you remember that, Josh?
I don't remember that.
Okay.
I remember.
It happened, trust me.
I don't remember a lot about it.
I have a whole video about it, so I should repost that.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I've watched a lot of people's YouTube videos going in there. Like, I feel like I've been there because I've watched so much footage of it. Like, so I know every room, and I know the cellar. I know that external structure, that barn that has the videotapes. And I can like picture it all because I've seen it so many times, but I've never been. So I need to go.
It's super cool. It's super cool. One thing that is weird though, it's like right in the middle of the town. So it's like it's not kind of off on its own. Like you imagine a big creepy house kind of outside of town or something. This is literally just you're surrounded by neighbors like all around. It's just like on a small road in the town. But
I do remember that we got there and it fucking downpoured.
It hailed.
It rained super hard. So it did create kind of a cool atmosphere with that.
Yeah.
That kind of added to it a little bit.
Because it was hail, and Suzanne, who was there with us, was freaked out because her new Jeep was getting hail damage, complete hail damage. So, well, Jenny, where can people go to find your stuff? Like if someone wants to go check out your paranormal sort of investigations videos, where do they go to find it?
So far just TikTok, Uncharted and Beyond. I think it's just Uncharted Beyond, but I don't know. I should throw a link like on my Facebook someday. But yeah, soon there will be videos on the YouTube channel for that of the same name. I just need to figure out how to do some editing.
Yeah, editing is it's like the barrier for most people, because even when you like we're doing Outpost Unknown YouTube channel and stuff, you start getting behind on editing, and then it just accumulates and accumulates, and then it becomes like overwhelming. Like how am I even going to start this sort of stuff? So editing is definitely something to keep up on. Do you have any other film projects that you're going to act in coming up, or anything that's going to release soon? Where can people find the movies that you're in? Is there any good place to find them, whether it's Amazon, Tubi, anything like that?
If you search just my acting name, I have a ton of movies on Amazon Prime, Tubi, and for rent on YouTube. I think they're free on Tubi. I think there's maybe like 5 or 6 films up there right now. A lot of the movies are for sale on Amazon Prime and some other websites. And then as far as upcoming, we're going to try to wrap Pigface 2. I just have a pickup shot left.
The van stuff is what we have left for you, Jenny.
And then I don't know. I was hoping to do some puppet mancing, maybe soon.
Puppet mancing.
And
What
then
is that all
I'm
about?
you tell me, and then the other thing, I'm doing a voiceover for Unemployed 2, which doesn't start filming, I think, till spring of next year. But I'm doing voiceovers on a bunch of fake like infomercials, and it's going to be really funny. So look forward to
Oh,
that.
cool, cool. Okay, before we let you get out of here, I just have one final question for you. Tell me what it's like to work for Josh as an actor. Like, tell me how he is as a director. Like, rank him on your list of directing. Is he great? Is he terrible? Is he somewhere in the middle? Like, give me your thoughts on Josh as a director.
I think Josh is great. It's kind of funny.
Just because I was nice, Jenny, doesn't mean you have to be nice.
Well, he's never been mean to me. And Tammy, the girl that I brought with, is actually my brother's wife. So he let me like bring my sister. So that was really cool. So I love the experience that I got to have with her. We have our own movie. The Bear Stench Project is literally me and my sister-in-law camping, like in the woods screaming with Josh. So yeah, I mean, I've always had good experiences. Yeah, it's been
Is
fun.
there
I don't have any bad ones.
Josh? Is there anywhere to watch that movie? Is it like on YouTube or anything? Like, how do we see the film?
The only person that owns a copy of that particular short that ended up on Silly Scaries 2 is not me. I don't have a copy.
I'll get you.
I
have a copy.
I don't know if there's a way to get that onto YouTube, or else I'd drop it on there, because it was a ton of fun, and there was no script to that. It was just us out there with ideas.
We had a map,
and then it was just in a map, and we were just kind of throwing out dialogue. So that was a really fun project, though.
Yeah, so, super fun.
It was a good one.
Yeah. One thing I will say is I do like to give Josh a lot of shit, but I've told him this. I think he is I'm talking to him about him now like he's not even here. But I do think he is a very talented individual, and someone who, you got to give respect to somebody who can write, shoot, finish, direct an entire feature film, which he has done in the past. That's something I haven't even done, and I've made movies a lot of times. I mean, I'd be like overwhelmed by the amount of stuff. So, Josh, you're a good dude, and you make movies. So, good on you.
I'll pat myself on the back for that.
Well, Jennii, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with us. Is there any last final comments that you'd like to throw out? Anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, just thanks for having me, and look forward to working together again and wrapping up Pigface 2. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And I'll tell everybody up in Omaha who watches this, please reach out to Jennii when you have auditions so she can get to meet some of you and get up there.
Thank you.
Cool. And with that, Josh, next week, do we have anything planned?
I have no fucking idea.
We don't. So stay tuned to the next random episode of the Once More for Safety show, where we talk about something. I don't know what it'll be. We may interview someone. We may talk about catering. Who knows? Thank you, everybody. We'll see you then.
Thank you. Bye.